Hi everybody, so today's Monday, that means it's time for Film and Movie Night, and this week I'm doing another patron pick from one of my patrons on Patreon that support both Hallmarkies podcast and my own content. And if you're interested in checking out some of the benefits of becoming a patron, I'll have all the information in the description section. So today we're looking at the movie Mr. Mom, and it was submitted as a suggestion from our patron named Colleen. Colleen actually just joined me on the first episode of the Francast over at Hallmarkies podcast, where we were talking about the show The Nanny. She's actually going to be a co-host of that segment for me, and I'm really, really looking forward to that whole show. I really liked the episode that we did on the pilot. I'll put a link down to that in the description section. So Mr. Mom is an interesting movie because it was written by John Hughes, who's very famous for his teenage movies. This was in 1983, and it stars Michael Keaton and Terry Garr, and they are a couple, and he loses his job, so she ends up having to get a job, and he becomes the stay-at-home parent of the family. And there's a lot of things in this movie that do feel pretty dated, especially as far as like gender roles and you know, kind of what is manly, what is feminine, all that kind of stuff. Some of it persists, but some of it has been kind of done away with. It's also not the best movie when it comes to if you're super picky about your family content. There's definitely some things that you might be concerned with, particularly they go to a bar at one point that's kind of like a strip club kind of male that has like a Thunder Down Under kind of group there, or I don't know what, it's not burlesque because I think that's only women, but anyway, that kind of thing gives you the idea, and some people would be really offended by that. So I don't know, your call there. Also, there's just a lot of things as far as like, there's this woman, is he going to have an affair with, or then also there's somebody who's kind of coming after her, and that just, there's some of those things just feel really, really dated. But I think what makes this movie really work is that Michael Keaton is really charming in it. It might be one of my favorite performances of his. He is so good at this role, and I think that him and Terry Garr have really good chemistry. They definitely actually feel like a couple, which helps you stay invested in all the antics and everything going on. And it becomes pretty sweet, a lovely little film by the end. And I think that a lot of that goes to the performances and also the script, which John Hughes was always so great at writing these scripts that kind of follow stereotypes, follow the predicted patterns, but then do little things to make it a little bit more sort of interesting than that. And it's like he creates a formula, but then he finds ways to kind of subvert the formula at the same time. And because it's not one that he directed, this is just a writing thing, but I think it's probably a little bit of a hidden gem, even with some things about it that are a little outdated, because like I said, that his performance is so good, and he's just so likable, and he never really gives in to a lot of the temptations they put in front of him, and so that's always nice as well. And I thought that the three kids were pretty cute and normal looking. They weren't like these Hollywood mop tops kind of a thing. And so I really enjoyed Mr. Mom. I thought it was funny. I thought it had some nice heart to it. I thought it was creative. It's not perfect. Not everything holds up about it, but I think enough does that it makes for a pretty entertaining little watch. So I would recommend Mr. Mom if you're looking for something to watch during this stressful time. I think that's a nice choice. So there we go. That is this week's review. I'd probably give it I don't know, a 7 out of 10 for my score for Mr. Mom. So let me know what you would give it in the comment section or on Twitter. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And thanks again so much. You can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Make sure to check that out. You can also follow me at the Hallmarkies podcast, which is a podcast that I love to film. So check that out, and you can subscribe to my blog, and I'll have all that information in the description section. So thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye, everyone.